Hi guys, it's Michelle, Deception Bytes, and today is Tuesday, September 18th, and it is 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Now, what we're going to be doing here is looking into some Q-related news. I did mention that in the last video that there are some things that are very timely that I need to get out, and I feel almost compelled to do that before I go on to today's Q posts. So let's get into this. Now, this video is going to focus on Kavanaugh and only Kavanaugh, because while there is a bunch of other Q-related news, this is what I need to get out, and I have enough stuff, information on this to make a video, of just this. So just a heads up, if this doesn't interest you, you might want to skip this video, but I think I've got some interesting information here. You may or may not have heard some of this stuff, but I wanted to make sure that you do and have an opportunity to hear it if you have not already. All right, now the first thing we're going to look at here is this, and it is from Twitter. It says, breaking. According to sources, Dianne Feinstein's reluctance to mention the Kavanaugh accuser's letter during confirmation session is because the accuser sent a similar letter directed at Judge Gorsuch last year. The whereabouts of the earlier letter remain a mystery. Developing. Now, we're going to go on, but there's a lot to this that does not make sense to me. A lot. And of course, we know the tricks that the left plays. And so I think that that's what's happening here. I don't know why anyone, and this woman is a professor, so she has her PhD. She's not an intellectual slouch by any stretch of the imagination. So why a woman that has brains would wait for all of these years? I think that this supposedly happened when she was 15, I think, or at least in her teens. Why is she bringing it up now? Why didn't she report it to the police when it happened? Why? Does that make sense to you? Because it doesn't to me. Now, I realize, that there are situations where women are traumatized at the time, especially a young woman, in her teens. But, as someone that, she's obviously intellectually gifted, so I just don't understand why at some point she wouldn't have reported this and said, look, I wasn't, maybe I was too traumatized when I was 15, but, now I'm 25, I want to report this. No, she waits all of these years. Doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't make a lick of sense to me. So let's continue here and see. Let's just do a little bit of digging. And you know what? It didn't take me a long time to find this stuff. So it doesn't take a whole lot of digging to find out that this is a bunch of caca. All right. Excuse me. Now, let's look at this first. Oh, I have a noisy cat in the background. I apologize. Okay. Feinstein blames GOP after Kavanaugh accuser stays mum. Admits, I can't say everything's truthful. Well, if she can't say everything's truthful, then why did she bring it up in the first place? And was that her job to bring it up? Why didn't this woman, Dr. Ford, why didn't she bring it up?
The attorney for the supposed third person in the room during the alleged assault, according to Blase Ford, said his client does not remember such an incident and never saw Kavanaugh act in the way Ford describes. The lawyer says Mark Judge does not want to speak publicly. Meanwhile, there is now pushback from some Democrats about the invitation to Ford to testify. Chief Congressional Correspondent Mike Emanuel is on Capitol Hill tonight.
Judge Brett Kavanaugh says he'll testify under oath on Monday, but his accuser, Dr. Christine Blasey Ford, has not RSVP'd yet.
We have reached out to her in the last 36 hours, 3 or 4 times by email, and we've not heard from them, so it kind of raises the question, do they want to come to the public hearing or not?
The panel's top Democrat is complaining about the invitation.
No one called her or called her lawyer. My understanding is she got emails. I have no say. I'm the lead Democrat, so this is all up to the Republican side. I can't say everything's truthful. I don't know.
Assuming both Kavanaugh and Ford show up, one possibility being floated is having former New Hampshire Republican Senator Kelly Ayotte handle the questioning to avoid having 11 white Republican men do it. Maine Republican Senator Susan Collins has her own comment.
White Republican men? What difference does it make what color they are? Now, I understand why if, and that is an if, this person was raped or sexually assaulted, why they wouldn't want to be questioned by a group of men. But did you just hear that? Oh, it's white men. Oh my gosh, they're the worst. Oh, white men. I mean, you know, if they were any other color, it would be okay, but they're white. My gosh.
Concept.
That it might be effective to have the 2 attorneys who are representing Judge Kavanaugh and Professor Ford do the questioning for the first round.
Other leading Democrats say they don't want it to be just the judge and his accuser.
That's simply inadequate, unfair, wrong, and a desire not to get at the whole truth.
We care what Schumer says, don't we? We all care what Chuck Schumer has to say. All right, now let's go on. There's plenty of other stuff to get to, so I don't want to get us hung up on just one. So let's continue here. Now, this is interesting. Oh, I think you'll find this very interesting. Brett Kavanaugh's mother is judge who dismissed a disclosure action against accuser Ford's parents. Oh, now, wait, hang on here. Oops.
As Supreme Court nominee...
Just 1 second. All right. So, Brett Kavanaugh's mother is also a judge. Okay, now she dismissed a foreclosure action against Kavanaugh's accuser, Dr. Ford's parents. Oh, well, we're going to find some other interesting things out too, but let's listen to
Judge Brett Kavanaugh and the woman accusing him of sexual assault get ready to testify publicly on Monday to the Senate Judiciary Committee. More than 60 women who say that they have known him for over 3 decades have come to the judge's defense. In a letter to the Senate Judiciary Committee, they write, quote, "Through the more than 35 years we have known him, Brett has stood out for his friendship, character, and integrity. He has always treated women with decency and respect. That was true when he was in high school, and it remained true to this day." Joining us now is one of the women who signed that letter, Megan McCaleb. Thank you so much, Megan, for being with us.
Good morning.
Good morning. So what was your initial reaction when you heard about this accuser?
Well, I couldn't believe it when I heard she was accusing Brett of this, and I immediately knew we had to rally around and support him because that was not the Brett Kavanaugh we knew.
Who is the Brett Kavanaugh that you know?
Brett was a friend of ours in high school, and to this day, he was always respectful, always decent, never out of control in any way, and always treated women with respect.
So what do you believe this woman? Why do you think she's doing this?
I'm not certain. You know, she alleges that she had this traumatic event, and I feel like it is not the Brett Kavanaugh that we know. It is so wildly inaccurate to his character that I'm not certain where it's coming from.
Well, Kellyanne Conway and the president have said that she should be heard, that we need to hear from both sides in this situation. Do you know anything about her? Because you both grew up in D.C. You went to an all-girls school. Brett went to an all-boys school. What do you know about this woman? Her name's Christine Blasey Ford.
Right. It's actually Christy Blasey Ford.
Blasey Ford.
And I did not know her well. She was a friend of a friend. We went to the same pool growing up, and I would see her there sometimes, but as I said, she went to a different high school and really didn't hang out with our group, so I did not see her often.
What are women saying about her? You said you have friends in common.
Well, people are in disbelief. They really are, because it's absolutely not Brett's character, and we are shocked that this is even coming out.
She alleges that he was stumbling drunk that night at the party. Were you at the party, and have you ever seen him drunk?
I have no recollection of that party, and no, I have never seen him stumbling drunk ever.
Did you ever drink with him? And if so, what was he acting?
Yes,
What did he act
and
like?
it was he was always in control and always respectful. He was one of the more mature ones of the group, and I enjoyed hanging with him.
It says a lot that 65 people, I mean, I don't even know if you can, most people can't recruit 65 people from high school 35 years ago to come forward and stand up for them and say that you have great character. And that's kind of unbelievable that he has 65 women that have said this about him, including some ex-girlfriends that were on Martha's show last night. How did that letter come to be?
Now, I want to, this is great, and it's wonderful to hear, that there are 65 women that are speaking on his behalf, but I wanted to get to this part about the mother. The parents of the woman who is accusing Brett Kavanaugh of sexual misconduct have a connection to the Supreme Court nominee through his mother, a Maryland state judge, online court records show. Martha Kavanaugh granted a motion dismissing a 1996 foreclosure action against Ralph and Paula Blasey, according to the records. Christine Blasey Ford publicly came forward Sunday to accuse Brett Kavanaugh of sexual assault decades ago when they were both teenagers in prep school. So, yeah, that's very interesting, I think. And Kavanaugh accuser has not yet accepted invitation to testify before Congress. A North Carolina bank brought the foreclosure action and 5 months later moved to dismiss the case. That was 22 years ago. I don't remember anything about this case, the trustee in the foreclosure, Harry Kelly, told Fox News before hanging up the phone. The lawyer for the bank did not return calls seeking comment. It is unclear from the online records if the property being foreclosed on was the Blasey home in Potomac, a well-to-do neighborhood outside D.C. The record suggests that the dismissal was granted after the Blaseys and the bank cut a deal that avoided a sale of the property at a foreclosure auction. Martha Kavanaugh signed off on the motion after the case had initially been assigned to another judge. That other judge appointed Kelly the trustee. Ford revealed this week that she is the author of the previously anonymous letter given to Senator Dianne Feinstein that detailed the allegations against Kavanaugh. Ford told the Washington Post that she told no one at the time of the alleged incident what had happened to her, including her parents. She said she was terrified that she would be in trouble if her parents realized she was at a party where teenagers were drinking. Okay, I understand that when you're a teenager. I fully understand that. But she hasn't been a teenager for a very, very long time. So why has she never told anyone? Really? Like, that may have been an excuse when she was 15 years old. It's not an excuse anymore. Generally, once one is away from the home and an adult, they no longer are fearful of what their parents might say. Anyway, let's continue on because there's more stuff to get to here. And let's go back. Now, let's look into this. Because now, Dr. Ford is saying something different. Christine Blasey Ford calls on FBI to investigate Kavanaugh accusation before the hearing. So now it's not that she's saying something different. I guess I shouldn't have said it that way, but it's that now, she wants a full investigation before a hearing. Now, why is that? Why didn't she want an investigation before? I just don't understand this at all. The woman who accuses Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh of sexual assault has said earlier that she'd be willing to testify before the Senate Judiciary Committee. Well, bully for her. The woman who has accused Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh of sexually assaulting her when they were high school students is calling for an FBI investigation into her claim before she testifies before the Senate Judiciary Committee. Well, darling, you should have been having somebody look into this long before now. Seriously. If this was an issue for you, yeah. I'll tell you something. And, you know, I fully support women that have been, sexually assaulted or raped. And I will tell you that, okay, I'm not going to get into that. I'm sorry. Anyway, I was going to say that I had an incident and I was young when it happened. And to tell you the truth, by the time I was old enough to understand the implications of what had happened to me, that person had died. But let me assure you, if that person was not dead, I would be bringing charges. All right. Now, okay, let me see here. Christine Blasey Ford said Monday that she was willing to testify before the Senate Judiciary Committee after coming forward on Sunday as the author of a confidential letter sent in late July to 2 members of Congress. Breaking, Lisa Banks, lawyer for Dr. Christine Blasey Ford, is on AC 360 calling on the Senate Judiciary Committee to cancel its hearing scheduled for Monday, saying that an FBI investigation of the incident should be the first step. Well, I agree that certainly the first step should be an investigation, but I think this should have happened decades ago. But on Tuesday, Blasey, a psychology professor, oh my gosh, she's a psychology professor. I knew she was a professor, didn't realize she was a psychology professor. Well, you know better then. Dr. Ford, you know better. In California, said through her lawyers that an investigation should be the first step before she is put on national television to relive this traumatic and harrowing incident. Okay. Ford's lawyer released a letter to committee chairman Chuck Grassley, CNN reported, calling for an investigation to ensure that crucial facts and witnesses in this matter are assessed in a nonpartisan manner and that the committee is fully informed before conducting any hearing or making any decision. Okay, let's go on. We've got a lot to get to here, and I don't want us to get bogged down. Now, listen to this, because I think this is crucial. I'm going to skip this article from The Hill because basically it says the same thing, that Kavanaugh accuser says FBI should probe before she testifies. All right, now, this I like. And this was retweeted by Donald Trump Jr. Eric Erickson says, and this is from Twitter, the FBI has already investigated Brett Kavanaugh 6 times for various government positions. No accusation has ever come up until now, at the very last minute, and the accuser would rather delay than tell what she knows. This is not credible. Now, those are my sentiments exactly, because I didn't realize that he had been investigated 6 times already for various other government positions. Now, if this was such a, a concern to Dr. Ford that this man not have any position of power, then why is she waiting to now? And why has no other accusation ever come up from any other person? Because obviously, if he is such a, the type of person that would sexually assault a fellow classmate, then you would think that there would be accusations from other women, don't you think? And why has this come up at the very last minute? Why didn't it come out as soon as his name was floated? That's the other question. And why now does she want to delay? This is just a delay tactic. The FBI should probe before I testify because, I don't want to have to relive all the trauma. Yeah. Okay. Now, just for some fun, they have scrubbed the web of anything to do with Dr. Ford, but they didn't scrub it all, and somebody found it, and then it was scrubbed right afterwards. So using the web or archive.com, we can go back and see what it was that they tried to scrub. Let's take a look at it. Now, if you have gone to college, university, you know that there are places out there where you can rate your professor, and people do look at that stuff. I know I did. Before I would take a class, I would always look online and look up my professor because I wanted to know what other students thought of that professor and whether he or she were fair, whether they, taught well. I mean, there was all sorts of concerns that I had, and I would go out and search out my professors, and all sorts of students do that. They want to know. They don't want to get a bad professor, especially when you pay the money that you have to pay to go to university. You want to make sure you're getting the best bang for your buck. So you're wanting the best professors. At least I did. And so this is one of those places where people go and they rate their professor. Now, as we have stated, Dr. Ford is a professor, a psychology professor at California State University, Fullerton, California. And let's see what they had to say. Overall quality, 2.4. That's not real good. Now, there are 8 student ratings here. Now, 8 may not be, a lot, but let's just take a look at this. Now, this person rated her as awful. Said attendance not mandatory. For credit, no, they didn't take this class for credit. Textbook used, no. Would take again, no. Grade received was not applicable. Overall quality, a 1. Level of difficulty, a 1. Now, it says this rating is under review, and it was put there 9/16, so I don't even think probably that is a true rating. I think that's probably why they took the page down, because people were going there and just adding things. But this one is from, hang on here, get rid of this. This one is from 12/21/2014. So we can be almost certain that this is a real feedback. This is real feedback. And they said that she was average. Her overall quality, 3. Level of difficulty, 4. Many dislike Professor Ford due to her dark personality, matter-of-factness, and high expectations. If you want real-life feedback that does not come wrapped in a bow, experience her. If you would like feedback and grading on a silver platter, avoid her. She is tough, but she has a method to her madness. She is available and fixes issues. Now, that's not a horrible rating at all. And 12 people found this useful. 20 people did not find it useful. But I think it's interesting that they refer to her dark personality. Not that means anything, and certainly that is no proof or disproof of her allegations. But here is another on 9/25/2014, and this person rated her as awful, gave her a 1 overall quality, level of difficulty 5. Christine Ford is the worst educator I've ever experienced. Avoid taking her class and avoid any interaction with this person. I feel like she has something wrong with her, and I am surprised no one has caught this. Also, avoid Fullerton's MSW, which is Master of Social Work program, as long as she is there. Interesting. Now, I have no reason to believe that this person made this up. Why would they? This was back in 2014, far, before any of this surfaced. And this person said that I feel like she has something wrong with her, and I am surprised no one has caught this. And the one before said she had a dark personality. Interesting. Now let's look at this one. And this one as well, this is from 2014, said she was awful. Overall quality 1, level of difficulty 5. Professor Ford is unprofessional, lacks appropriate filters, and I am honestly scared of her. Wow. Now, I'm used to reading these because I've, like I said before, I've got 3 degrees. So I've had many, many, many professors in my life, and I am used to looking at these reviews. This shocks me. It shocks me. Professor Ford is unprofessional, lacks appropriate filters, and I am honestly scared of her. In all my days, I've never seen a review where somebody said they were actually scared of their professor. She's made comments both in class and in emails. If you cross her, you will be on her bad side. I fear to think of the poor clients that had to deal with her while she got her MSW and her LCSW. Absolutely the worst teacher I ever had. Interesting. And this person rated her as average. I enjoyed her class very much. She pushes you to be the best. Use your brain power. She will not coddle you, but at this level, students should have a professional demeanor about themselves. I enjoy taking her class very much. And if you want to grow and learn, take Professor Ford's class. So there you go. 33 people did not find this useful because probably there were a lot of people that had negative experiences of her because notice that when she's getting a bad review, 46 people found that useful. 28 people found that useful, the bad reviews, probably because they agreed with them. 2 people did not find it useful, and 3 people did not find it useful. But let's look at when she gets a positive review. 33 people did not find this useful. Interesting. And then she got an awesome, and 41 people did not find that useful. But they said this is interesting, her personality is polarizing, but she is an effective teacher. So, I don't know. Don't know, but it's interesting. And here it says, she's a tough cookie and may not be that personable. But I really like her as a professor, and I feel that I would enjoy taking her for another course in the future. Stay on her good side, though, and participate. Now, that is something you don't see often either. Oh, stay on their good side. Because professors are supposed to be, unbiased. Anyway. Let's just look at one more and then we're going to move on. Okay, do not take her class. She is unclear with directions, hard grader, and talks for 2 hours, 45 minutes without giving a break. She is exact opposite of what she teaches. Empowering? Not at all. 33 people found that useful. Excuse me. And this, I just have to tell you, I have to add this one as the last one. Take her class and you will take antidepressants. Start smoking or drinking again and gain 20 pounds at your risk. Interesting. Now, let's move on from there. And let's go back. And this is interesting. Huge. Judge Kavanaugh says he was not even at the party in question. Well, if he was not even at the party in question, then it would make it impossible for him to have sexually assaulted someone there. Just saying. Now, of course, that is what he is saying, and of course, any guilty person would say something, but I just don't believe, taking everything into consideration, and I am someone that is probably more likely to side with the female, but in this case, I don't know. Don't think so. The Senate met for the first time Monday afternoon since Christine Blasey Ford, a California professor and far-left activist. Oh, she's a far-left activist. Oh, well, that makes sense then. I didn't realize that. Publicly came forward with allegations of sexual assault against Brett Kavanaugh. All the facts aren't even in, but Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, oh, good old Chucky boy, is calling for a delay in the Kavanaugh confirmation process. And of course, he would. Yeah. Christine Blasey Ford is a far-left activist who alleged Brett Kavanaugh sexually assaulted her over 35 years ago while she was at a high school party in Maryland. Judge Kavanaugh told Senator Hatch that he was not even at the party in question. Breaking. Kavanaugh told Senator Hatch he wasn't even at the party in question. Paul Sperry, September 17, 2018. Senator Hatch blasted the Democrats on Monday for the way they handled the accusation thus far, reported Chad Pergram. Hatch on Ford. Any accuser deserves to be heard. I stand by Chairman Grassley's efforts to begin our due diligence in this regular order of the Judicial Committee. I remain deeply disappointed by the way Senate Democrats have so grossly mishandled these accusations thus far. And Senator Hatch said it seems in bad faith to withhold info from Republicans and from the FBI for over a month. Yeah, why did they do that? Hatch on Ford allegations, it seems in bad faith to hold this information from Republicans and from the FBI for over a month, and then to suggest at the final hour that the only path forward is delaying the confirmation to allow the FBI to investigate. Yeah, I find that a little curious myself. Furthermore, the only other witness to the alleged attack said it never happened, and the allegations are absolutely nuts. There you go. Now let's go back. See what else we have here. And what is this? Can't remember now. Oh, okay. Yes. Kavanaugh classmate named in Me Too letter denies assault allegation. There you go. Former classmate of Judge Brett Kavanaugh is vehemently denying allegations that the Supreme Court nominee attempted to force himself onto a young woman during a party in high school. Mark Judge, who attended Maryland's Georgetown Preparatory School with Kavanaugh in the 1980s, told the Weekly Standard on Friday that the assault allegations were just absolutely nuts. I never saw Brett act that way, Judge said. Details of the alleged assault were first reported Friday morning by The New Yorker, which published the account of an unnamed woman who said Kavanaugh and a male classmate accosted her at a party. The woman alleged that Kavanaugh held her down and covered her mouth while the classmate turned up the music in the room to conceal the sound of her protests. The New Yorker's story did not identify the classmate by name, but Judge confirmed to the Weekly Standard that he was the Kavanaugh associate the accuser named. Judge said that he had no idea he was named in the allegation until the New Yorker's Ronan Farrow interviewed him about it. Ronan Farrow said, "As you know, you're named in the letter." And I did not know, he told the Weekly Standard. Judge went on to say that the New Yorker refused to tell him the name of the woman who had made the allegation or any details about where and when the assault may have occurred. The unnamed woman has declined to give interviews with other media outlets. Months before speaking with the New Yorker, the anonymous accuser sent a letter describing the alleged incident to Democratic Republican Anna Eshoo of California. Democratic Senator Dianne Feinstein of California has also been in possession of the allegations since July. Okay, well, why has she been sitting on them? Feinstein, the ranking member of the Senate Judiciary Committee, did not raise the allegation during Kavanaugh's confirmation hearing earlier this month, nor did the matter come up during a closed session where sensitive information was discussed, according to a Judiciary Committee spokesperson. Feinstein said Thursday that she had forwarded allegations concerning Kavanaugh to the FBI. The referral did not trigger a criminal inquiry, but the FBI provided the information to the White House for placement in Kavanaugh's background check file, USA Today reported. Kavanaugh denied the allegations against him in a written statement released by the White House on Friday. I categorically and unequivocally deny this allegation, he said. I did not do this back in high school or any other time. So let's move on from there. Because there's more. Okay. Let me see. Here we are. Kavanaugh will be concerned. I'm sure he is concerned. Kavanaugh will be confirmed. Grassley statement. The committee vote on Judge Kavanaugh's nomination will proceed as scheduled next Thursday. Here's what we know. Judge Kavanaugh has undergone 6 FBI full field investigations from 1993 to 2018. No such allegation resembling the anonymous claims ever surfaced. Yeah. Now, I thought I had placed in here, and apparently I didn't. But there is, I'm just looking down here to see if I placed it somewhere else. I don't know. Okay, because now, this, I guess, you will have to check out yourself, and I don't know about the veracity of this charge, but apparently the person that is behind this and paying for this is Soros. Now, again, I thought I had that link, and I don't, so it's something that I will have to bring to you later. But that is one thing I ran across. But again, I don't know about the veracity of those claims. I'm not the one that brought them up, so I don't know. I have not fully investigated that yet, and it would be hard to fully investigate that. But here is another thing. Apparently, and if I'm not mistaken, I thought I had put that in there as well, but I guess I didn't. Dr. Ford's brother worked for... Are you waiting for it? Because here's the bombshell. Fusion GPS. Yes. Now, I don't know what I was thinking because I thought I had put that in there, but let me see. Let's do a quick search here before we go. Christine Blasey Ford, Fusion GPS. Let's see if we can find this. Of course, Media Matters. Pro-Trump sycophants launch another smear of Christine Blasey Ford trying to tie her to Fusion GPS. She is tied to Fusion GPS. Here are the ways. That's having the... Okay, hang on. I'm trying to find somewhere that... yes, okay, here we are. Let's look at this. Ralph Blasey, brother of Kavanaugh accuser Christine Blasey Ford, has close financial ties to Fusion GPS. So, there you go. Now, whether that's something, I don't know. But sure is interesting, isn't it? Let's see if I can find anything else here about that. Yeah, Kavanaugh's accuser's brother linked to Fusion GPS. And this is from investmentwatchblog.com. So they're saying the same thing. Breaking, Kavanaugh accuser's brother linked to Fusion GPS, Christine Blasey Ford, the 51-year-old woman who has come out of the woodwork at the last minute. And let me see. Her father appears to have been an attorney. Tons of cases referencing that. His relationship professionally with Kavanaugh should be looked at as well. I believe that they're trying to say there's more to this story than originally appeared. Yes, I would agree with that. And Christine Blasey Ford's brother is an attorney, Ralph Blasey of Maryland, who has previously involved in confirmation hearings on federal appointments. No coincidence there. I would agree. And attorney Deborah Katz made the rounds Monday on morning television to argue that her client's sexual misconduct allegations against Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh should be taken seriously, an appeal accepted even by the White House. But while her client's claims have raised bipartisan concerns about Kavanaugh, Katz, a longtime Democratic donor known for representing sexual harassment accusers, also has a history of downplaying or dismissing accusations made by women against Democratic politicians. Oh, well then. Including former President Bill Clinton and former Minnesota Senator Al Franken. So, isn't that interesting? So anyway, I needed to bring this to you because it's all over the news, as you are well aware, and I just felt that it needed to be out there. We needed some balance here. So there you go. That's it for that one. And I am going to be hopefully bringing you the Q post for the 18th, which is today. So at that point, I'm going to sign off. Stay safe, stay well. See you soon.